Well, folks, here we again for the weekly forecast. In this last week, we had several rounds of precipitation move through the state. The first round did move through Saturday night into Sunday morning, primarily impacting the northern panhandle and the north central region of the state. Heaviest precipitation fell across portions of northeastern Sheridan County and northwestern Cherry County, generally in the 3/4 of an inch to an inch and a half range. Then, of course, we had that warm front try to lift northward on Tuesday from the Kansas-Nebraska border, and the slow movement and the development of thunderstorms across the Kansas-Nebraska border led to some localized flooding. We had anywhere from 2 to 4 inches reported from eastern Thayer County eastward into western Gage County. And of course, we did have, with those heavy precipitation, some water running over roads, and again, the rivers came up. And then we had some light scattered shower activity as that warm front continued to progress northward on Wednesday. That primarily impacted areas north of the Platte River, all the way up into northeastern Nebraska, with the heaviest precipitation reported within this region over portions of Wayne County, with around an inch to an inch and a quarter reported. And then more importantly, the big complex came from northwest Nebraska through southeast Nebraska on Thursday, dropping localized heavy precipitation. Unfortunately, some hail and severe weather was reported with that, and unfortunately, some of that did fall across some of the flood-prone areas of southern Nebraska. The good news is that we at least have a drying trend for the next 4 or 5 days before we turn our attention to another system coming in from the Pacific Northwest that should arrive later next week. So let's take a look at the upper air models and see what we have in store. Here's that high pressure system that's firmly entrenched. It's going to stay in this region for about 4 days, holding off any precipitation moving in from the western United States and impacting Nebraska. All the focus will be to our east with this upper air trough, looking like heavy precipitation from Ohio into Pennsylvania and New York for the next 3 or 4 days. Total accumulation, we could be easily looking at 4 to 6 inches in some of these regions. As we go into tomorrow, what we are going to notice is this trough remains in place. Anything that comes on the back side of this will primarily impact Iowa and points to the east. There is just a slight chance for shower activity across extreme northeastern Nebraska, but I wouldn't hold much hope for any substantial moisture at this point in time. As we get into the day Monday, this high pressure system actually tries to push a little bit farther toward the east, bringing in some warmer air from the western part of the state into eastern Nebraska. But again, it doesn't look like we'll be dealing with any precipitation as it remains to our east. As we get into Tuesday, now this system starts to move toward the southwest and kind of expand out in response to a trough moving into the Pacific Northwest. So we will see the warm temperatures pushing in towards eastern Nebraska, but the precipitation will remain to our north. More importantly, as we get into Wednesday, this trough will start to swing its way southward during the afternoon hours, and we should see some precipitation breaking out during the evening hours across northern Nebraska, and some of that will start to move its way toward the southeast toward Thursday morning. And by Thursday, we will be looking at most eastern Nebraska in scattered showers and thunderstorms. Much cooler conditions as this cold air pushes in, and then we will be looking at a drying trend on Friday as cold air remains in place, and that should hold through the 4th of July. Let's take a look at the temperatures. We are looking at warmest conditions west, coolest conditions east, scattered thunderstorms more likely as we move toward the later part of next week. 8 to 14 day forecast indicates the cool conditions will continue, and there will be an increase in moisture as the monsoons start to kick in from the southwest.